Ashfall. The day the sky opened, the sky was bleeding. From the central plateau of Kz'haarn City, I watched the heavens weep molten fire. Black smoke roiled in thick veins across the stars, blotting them out one by one. We had no word in X-scroll for what we were witnessing. There was only the metallic taste of fear. I stumbled back from the observation deck, my breathing vents shivering erratically. Around me, the medical hall bustled with triage coordinators, chirring alarms, and the low moans of the wounded. There had been rumors, sightings of black chitinous shapes descending in metal thundercloud, stories whispered through the tunnels, of things that moved faster than thought, screamed in alien tongues, ripped bodies apart with savage joy. We thought they were lies. We thought nothing could come from the stars to hurt the X-scroll. We were wrong. The first refugees arrived an hour later. The first wave had begun at the outer provinces farm. Collectives, mining colonies, isolated places. They didn't come in peace. They didn't even come in conquest. They came to destroy. The survivors babbled incoherently. Their color sacks flashed terror patterns so violently it made my head ache just to look at them. They came in shells of fire. They bled thunder. They fed the ground with screaming. I tried to stabilize a female, her left primary limb mangled and raw, the green of her blood steaming in the open air. As I administered coagulant, she gripped my forelimb with terrifying strength. They laughed, she rasped. They laughed while they burned my spawn. I could only press the sedative harder into her veins, praying she would fall into mercy's embrace. My mentor, Senior Medic Kz'haarn, pulled me aside after the third wave of wounded. Kz'vaan, she said grimly. They are not here to negotiate. They are here to exterminate. By the third day, the air was unbreathable without filters. By the fourth, the comms towers fell silent. By the fifth, we saw them. Not in the flesh. The human creatures were specters, moving in the ruins with a speed and violence that defied natural law. Through the shattered eye lenses of an abandoned surveillance drone, we glimpsed them, two-legged things, encased in reflective carapaces, dragging sleek, growling weapons that split the sky with roaring cracks. They did not take prisoners. When they found survivors, they did not enslave them. They tore them apart. They burned what they could not tear. And in every ruined township, in every shattered dome, they left symbols scrolled in their own languages. Laughing, jeering things. We could not comprehend them. Why destroy? Why not conquer? Kz'haarn answered grimly one night, as we crouched in the remnants of a med center. Because, she whispered, they are what we were meant to fear in the night. They are the predators of their world, and they have brought that nightmare here. I first saw them in person on the 8th day. We had retreated into the deep caverns beneath Kz'haarn, hoping the stone would shield us. I was dragging supplies into a secondary triage ward when the walls trembled. And then, a sound. A long, rising, ululating howl, mechanical and bestial all at once. Then the crack, and boom, and crunch of the surface world dying. A squad of them appeared, descending through a blasted breach in the ceiling. Their armor was black and jagged, their visors reflecting the dull blue light of our giant, grotesquely beautiful, in their brutal simplicity. One of them, larger than the others, raised a massive weapon, a stubby tube connected to a boxy pack on his back, and fired. I saw the plasma charge incinerate 3 of my comrades instantly, vaporizing flesh into a pink mist. And then, the humans charged. They didn't hesitate. They didn't even seem to notice the hail of defensive fire we threw at them. They moved through it like a tide, tearing down our strongest warriors in moments. I froze. I saw one of them rip a hatchling from its mother's arms. Not even to kill it, but to hurl it against the cavern wall, where it exploded in a sickening, wet crunch. Another jammed, a short blade, brutal and ugly, into a medic's breathing vents, twisting savagely as the X-scroll thrashed and shrieked. They were fast, efficient, and worst of all, they were joyous. They fought, not with necessity but with each kill, each act of carnage, seemed to fuel them, to exalt them to new heights of violence. Their voices through their comms barked unintelligible words, short and brutal, punctuated by laughter. Always laughter. We lost the caverns within the hour. I survived only because I was trapped beneath a collapsed medical station, my left side crushed and bleeding out slowly. I watched through a crack in the rubble as the humans moved through the aftermath. They were not monsters. They were not mindless beasts. They collected their dead with reverence, wrapping their broken forms in dark cloth. They spoke soft words over them, bowed their heads, but they showed no such mercy to us. One human, small and agile, stalked among the wounded scroll, methodically finishing them with a short, sharp tool, a quick jab into the cranium, efficient and unceremonious. Others spread canisters of fire gel, igniting entire chambers in searing walls of light. No prisoners, no mercy, no future. I wept until the pain made me black out. When I awoke, it was to the shriek of warning sirens and the thunder of orbital strikes. They had brought their great weapons down from orbit. They were not merely here to win, they were here to erase. Whole sections of Kz'haarn vaporized under the searing spears of light. Towers fell like sand sculptures. Tunnels collapsed inward, choking on fire and bottom. The humans advanced without pause, their dropships belching smoke and thunder into the ruin. Each city, each colony, fallen, smoking, dead. I heard the comms burst to life once. Briefly, a desperate call from High Command. Initiate retreat protocol. All units fall back to tertiary worlds. Kz'haarn is lost. Lost our home. Our beating hearts gone. I found a group of survivors days later, hiding deep in the salt tunnels under what remained of the northern ridges. We were shadows. Broken. Starving. Sick. None spoke. Words were useless. We scavenged what we could. We buried our dead in shallow, nameless pits. We listened to the night, and when we heard the humans coming, always coming, we simply ran deeper, like vermin. I remember one night, watching from a hidden crevice, as a human squad moved through the ruins. They were singing a low, guttural, wordless sound, a song of victory, a song of death. They moved among our shrines, our sacred places, desecrating them without thought, without care, mocking our grief. One of them found a dying elder, too weak to flee. They did not shoot him, they did not burn him. They recorded him, recorded his final gasps, his desperate, pleading clicks, laughing as they watched him die. Laughing. Now, I sit in the dark, my breathing shallow. The others are gone, dead, captured, lost. I am the last to remember that there was once a time before the sky opened and the humans came. I know they will find me soon. I hear their boots above, heavy and unrelenting. I hear their voices, barking orders in that savage, beautiful language. I hear their laughter. When they find me, and they will, I will not fight. I will not scream. I will remember. I will remember the day the stars wept and the monsters fell from the sky. I will remember humanity.